Welcome to the Fantasy Football Happy Hour. That's right, the big ride or die reveal before the Hall of Fame game. Omarion Hampton, all the pressure is on you and Matthew Berry right now.
Yeah, well, he drinks for free. That's why. Listen, we don't want him worrying about the check. So there you go. Drinks for free. Yeah, it was a grueling process to come up with it, but ultimately Omarion is my ride or die. What was your reaction?
Feels like a personal affront, really, because you're basically taking a bet against Najee Harris. Is a large part of this.
And not the worst bet.
Not the worst bet.
Not the worst bet.
You used to have a good name until you previously attached it to
Najee
Harris.
attached myself to Najee Harris and Michael Thomas and other great NFL superstars. No, I like the pick, and I think it's a good one because everyone is focused on Ashton Jeanty, rightfully, in this rookie class, but Omarion Hampton has the scope to outperform Jeanty. He is we'll go through all the reasons, but there is immense upside for Omarion Hampton. He could be a top 5 running back this year, very conceivably.
Yeah, we're going to get through a lot today. Some of our favorite players that we keep drafting. Of course, Roto-World headlines around training camps, injuries, all of that. But, Matthew, I've worked with you. This is the 4th season I've worked with you now. This was, as I was watching, because I didn't ask you before, I actually like the element of surprise. The most surprised I've been, and not in a good or bad way. It was just, it was a little bold in a way. It wasn't just, you didn't take the layup here.
Well, a lot of people were pitching like Malik Neighbors and Jaden Daniels and Ashton Jeanty, and I'm just sort of like, those guys, and Brian Thomas Jr., and like, I felt like all those guys sort of broke out last year. The year to pick any of those guys would have been last year. Right, and so the idea of ride or die is not that it's an unknown player, but just somebody that I feel takes the next step. And right now, Omarion Hampton is being drafted. You know, he's being drafted around overall number 50 and like right around running back 20. And I have him, you know, as a top 12-ish running back. I have him inside my top 30, and so I felt like there was the opportunity there. You know. And I'll tell you a little bit about process here real quickly, but it ultimately came down to, and a lot of people were throwing out names, big names. I felt like Jeanty was too obvious. You know, he's going in the first round already.
Well, because think of how the bar is set. He'd have to basically finish as RB1 or 2 for you to be right.
Exactly. Because honestly, that's part of it, right? It's like it's become such a big thing that there's pressure on me to get it right, especially after last year because Kyler Murray obviously disappointed. The weird thing is Kyler Murray actually had a great year NFL-wise based on his but it just didn't translate to fantasy points. Like, he didn't kill you, but he certainly wasn't a ride or die. He was one of the most disappointing picks that I've made. So I needed to bounce back from Kyler Murray. And that sort of informed the decision this year. It ultimately came down to 2 people for me. It was either Nico Collins or Omarion Hampton. And I thought Nico Collins was sort of the safe choice. He is somebody that has produced at a high level each of the last 2 years. And my argument was going to be like, similar to my argument for Amon-Ra St. Brown, is that this guy is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. Just he's not talked about in that fashion. I think he's in the same class as a CeeDee Lamb. I think he's in the same class as an A.J. Brown, possibly as a Justin Jefferson. He's just not talked about that way, partially because of injuries, partially because Houston's more balanced on offense, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, well, Nico's the safe pick. I said, but Omarion Hampton, there's more risk there. He's in a timeshare. He's a rookie running back, right? And I said, but you know what? Last year I was in a similar situation. I honestly, and you guys know, we talked about this, it was between Kyler Murray and Jaden Daniels for me. And I thought, wow, rookie quarterback on my Commanders, everyone's going to think I'm a homer. That's a risky pick to go with like a rookie quarterback and a new head coach, a new offensive system. I really want to take Jaden Daniels, but Kyler Murray's the safe pick. So I took the safe pick. And obviously that was a mistake. I should have taken Jaden Daniels. So this year I was like, screw it. I'm going with the riskier pick, but the guy that I most believe in. I think he is, as you heard me just say it, I think he's a special player. 2 things that I didn't really have time to get into. You mentioned Najee Harris. Like, look, again, no timetable for his return, but 1-year deal versus a first-round draft capital for Omarion Hampton. I don't think, and just the fact that we don't know when Harris is coming back, but the longer he stays out, the more they get to see Hampton in practice. When I was on the field pregame, I mentioned this. You saw this in the clip. Like, we were talking to Chargers players who are all, to a man, saying, like, he's the real deal. Like, he runs hard in practice. We don't like tackling him. Like, you can clearly see the difference between a first-round running back and some of the other guys there. And the other knock on Hampton that I've seen out there is that Greg Roman's offenses don't pass to the running back, which is somewhat true, right? But if you look at the other offenses they've been in, it's like it's been with mobile quarterbacks. It's one of the reasons why the Greg Roman rushing numbers are so high, but it's also one of the reasons why they don't really pass the running back. Herbert's not going to run the way that Lamar Jackson or Tyrod Taylor ran. I think they will use him because he is a good pass catcher, because he's good in pass pro. He's not going to have to come off the field on third down. And for the people that say, well, Roman's rushing numbers were inflated because of the rushing quarterbacks, I think that's true and accurate. But Jim Harbaugh wants to run. Jim Harbaugh's he's been a head coach in the NFL for 5 years. He's been top 12 in rush attempts every single one of those years. I know there was some Colin Kaepernick in there, but still, this is a team that wants to run. They've rebuilt the offensive line. I mean, they just signed Rashawn Slater.
It's in his
they had
DNA.
Joe Alt, right?
Right.
I think it's a top 10 offensive line, Connor.
Oh, they arguably have the best tackle duo in all of football right out of the gate. So they can run a lot of outside zone. They can run basically any run concept with Hampton. This is my 12th overall player in the draft, right? For a running back to be ranked in the top 15. And Genty obviously stole the show because he was Genty, and it took away from how special Hampton was. And now this will kind of correct Jay, where I think, obviously the ADP is going to go up. And Najee Harris, it's an unfortunate injury, but this is somebody that can truly get 75+% of the touches out of the backfield.
Yeah, definitely. And even if people think that Genty is a better prospect than Hampton, well, the Chargers' win total is 3 wins higher than the Raiders. And the Chargers are expected to be a better team than the Raiders. They're expected to be in scoring position more often than the Raiders. So I like this, Matthew, because there's a chance this could blow up in your face.
It is.
It could be in Brazil, week 1 against the Chiefs. It could be 9 carries. We don't know. But
exciting.
I think that it's a good bet to place against my man Najee.
The last thing I'll say here, and then we can move on. But the other thing is, I didn't have time to say this at the broadcast. Again, he's a very different player. But I think Omarion Hampton is such a special talent and so much better than Najee Harris that maybe it's a split at the beginning of the year, but much like Bucky Irving last year took over that backfield towards the end of it, and Hampton comes in with much more draft capital than Bucky Irving ever did.
Right.
But I do think that's how that's going to play out is over the second half of the year, Hampton's just going to take over this backfield because he's just that much better, that much more explosive, that much more big playability, just that much more. He's just better than Najee Harris. Stop it.
His size and power reminded me of the best David Johnson years.
Yeah.
Where you look at a guy in the backfield, you go, wow, not a lot of guys are that big, that explosive, and then they do all the little things right as well.
Yeah, and I think it's good to place a bet on this Chargers regime as well, where you trust in Jim Harbaugh, you think that they're going to make the right optimal decisions. We saw last year they heavily featured a rookie in their offense in Ladd McConkey, so they're not just going to arbitrarily go with the vet. So hopefully for you, Matthew, they ride.
The comment section is buzzing right now, by the way. Dennis Rodriguez says, Hampton is a much better talent than Najee, so pass on him all you want so the rest of us can keep winning money.
Yeah. That's Dennis, by the way, who's watching us live on YouTube. For those of you who are listening to this show on podcast or SiriusXM, if you're hearing it or watching it on Peacock later or on demand, we are live at noon Eastern on YouTube every single day. And obviously, comments. Live episodes finally, says Sean Murphy, like a wide receiver 3 breakout. Yeah, let's go. Exactly.
We are as excited as you, Sean.
You have no idea. We're thrilled, Sean. So, and we want you guys to be a part of the show. So we don't see the comments beforehand, obviously. You guys are doing it live. So keep them coming and let us react to them.
So all the conversation around Omarion Hampton, of course, and the relation with his offensive coordinator, Greg Roman, we know he wants to run the ball. We got to hear from Roman after the game on Thursday on where his confidence is in their Chargers backfield right now.
All the running backs, I thought they ran really hard. Love how they ran. Omarion, they were bringing cover 0 blitzes at us early in the game. He did a good job, really good job. Good start for him.
The running back room, are you looking to add anybody else in, or are you just going to roll with the young guys?
I like what I see right now. I know Joe and his staff, they're always going to do whatever they can to improve the team, make the team stronger. So if they decide to do something there, bring it on. But right now, I think we're really happy with who we have.
Now, great to hear him talk up Hampton, but he did say Omarion.
I was waiting for the
Omarion.
I thought it was Omarion. Omarion, yeah.
That's what I've
But
said
he said
before the draft.
He said mare, like a mare, M-A-R-E, like a mare.
I reckon he's got it wrong. I reckon he's got it wrong.
You'd be surprised. Coaches sometimes, especially rookies.
But you just wait.
We're going to say.
Omarion Hampton.
If he has
I thought it was Omarion Hampton, but maybe it's Omarion.
We'll get to the bottom of
If
this.
he goes for 1,500 rushing yards, he probably just gets to change the pronunciation of his name, as all running backs do in the NFL.
The big O.
Like
Bajan, A-Chain.
Yeah, exactly. You
how
have
it goes.
to change the name. When you become a star running back, and we certainly expect Hampton to do that. You get to change
Derek
your name.
Henry.
Yeah, Henry. Yeah, exactly.
By the way, one last note in this backfield, Najee Harris remains on the NFI list without a timetable for return.
Yeah.
So if anyone's wondering, we don't know right now with Najee Harris. And I don't know if the Chargers have a lot of answers either. But
5 worst words in fantasy football. No timetable for his return.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and Rotoworld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.